Greetings, sir. Today I will explain briefly about my final year project. The project title is Responsive ERP Multiplayer Simulation Game. I will elaborate about the problem statement, the aims and objectives of the project, the scope of the project, the approach used to perform a literature review, the proposed framework used in this project, the proposed solution, and finally about the work completed, the in-progress works, and the remaining steps that will lead towards completion. This final year project is the work of myself, Murad Ali Muhammad Zaid, student of BSc Information Systems currently in Level 3, and the project supervisor is Dr. Kadir Saib Zarin. Let's start with the problem statement. According to some research papers, 75% of ERP implementations are a failed one. The problem lies in this phrase itself. If an ERP system cannot be implemented properly, it means that the teaching and learning process prior to implementation was not good enough. Therefore, we can say that traditional teaching methods is not enough for students to fully grasp the concept of ERP. Aims and objectives. Now that we know about the problem statement, I set some objectives that I want to achieve throughout this project. For the main goal is to implement a responsive web-based application that will allow students to learn ERP. And to implement such an application, an ERP framework must be adopted, and this concludes the aim and objectives part. Scope of project. After having the aims and objectives in mind, we shall set some goals for this project. First of all, the research methodology shall acknowledge that traditional teaching methods are not enough for today's standard, proving the problem right and allowing us to move forward. Secondly, the student must be given an application where they can actually learn about ERP. And finally, the application shall be loaded with real-life data so that necessary information is being delivered to the users. Research methodology. Prior to actual implementation of the web application, a literature review must be carried out. In my case, I performed a systematic literature review for this particular project. Many research papers was used in the making of this literature review. Furthermore, regarding the actual implementation, I'm using an agile method so as to be more flexible with deadlines. For the evaluation part, information system students in level 2 are already learning about ERP the traditional way in a module called enterprise system. So a pre-test and a post-test would be easily doable. ERP framework. The proposed framework used is simple. The test subjects are the information systems student of year 2, as mentioned before. A knowledge assessment shall be done. The pre-test would be assessing the knowledge of students prior to using the application. Then a post-test would be assessing the knowledge of students after learning through the application. And the application itself is web-based, so it is built using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, jQuery, and SQL. And the first prototype is equipped with SAP's sales module functionalities. Proposed solution. After knowing about the problem, setting some aims and objectives, and having an ERP framework, a solution is proposed. A web application with SAP functionalities shall be implemented. SAP functionalities is the innovative part whereby the students will basically practice hands-on with the actual software they might use later in the working world. Also, Google Data Analytics shall be used to perform some predictive analysis and providing with some advanced reports. Now I shall conclude this brief video with the project timeline, starting with works completed. The background study along with a full literature review has already been completed. Also, a welcoming web page is completed. It's a web page whereby information about the application is displayed, along with links to log in or sign up for the web application. The work in progress is the implementation of the web application. A secure login slash sign up system is already implemented. I am currently doing the coding for the actual game. Lastly, the remaining works is the testing part, adoption of SAP into the project, and the evaluation. Thank you for your kind attention. I hope I was able to give a good brief description of my final year project by means of this poster.